Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Kathy Toma, current president of Alive. We're so glad that you are here with us today at our annual meeting. And we have a lot of information that we're excited to share with you. Um, if we can advance to the next slide, we have our agenda today, which is our call to order, which we are doing right now. We'll be discussing our organizational updates, leadership and strategy, special acknowledgements, committee reports, how you can get involved, have an open forum for some questions, and we will then adjourn our meeting. Next slide, please. Your hosts for today are myself, Kathy Toma, and our president-elect, Darlene Laird. And you'll be hearing from our other vice presidents as well. To kick things off, I'd like to review our mission and vision. Alive's mission is to serve to enhance and sustain the spirit of volunteering by fostering collaboration and networking, promoting professional development, and providing advocacy for leaders in community engagement. And as it says here, our vision is the essential professional resource and advocate for those who engage, motivate, and celebrate volunteers and their vital contributions to our society. Everything we do here at Alive, from our strategic plan and our goals and objectives, are centered around our mission and vision and drive our work. Thank you all for supporting this mission. Next slide, please. Now we're going to talk about some organizational updates, some happy ones and some sad ones. If we can go to the next slide, we are announcing that our association manager, Gretchen Jordan, CVA, is officially retiring at the end of this month. If you have spent any time at all with Alive, you know Gretchen. You would have seen her in her fabulous dresses at the Alive table at the Point of Light conference, the ASC conferences, local association gatherings, and of course, our own hybrid conference. As the face of Alive, she is connected with so many people and spread the word of the great work being done by our association. Gretchen estimates that she has attended more than 50 conferences in all. Gretchen has traveled the country connecting with Alive members as she and her husband Bill drove their famous RV throughout the states for the last 10 years. All in all, Gretchen has put in 50,000 miles. What many of you might not know is that Gretchen was the first president of the first board of directors for Alive in 2009 and has been a part of our association ever since. She became the part-time association manager in 2014. But as we all know who work with her, she works more hours than that and will work around the clock to make sure she keeps everything alive running. She has been influential in the growth of our organization and has seen it start with 180 members to what we now have, which is over 1,000. Gretchen said that besides the growth of Alive, her favorite things have been networking with colleagues and Alive members. Gretchen has been the glue and the rock of Alive. As board members finished their terms, turned over, and new board members started to serve, she was our coach, advisor, and tech guru. For all of us that have had the privilege of working with you, Gretchen, we thank you, and you will be missed. Okay, now I'm gonna cry. If you would like to send a message to Gretchen, please use our kudos board. You'll be able to find the link in the chat. And if not there, you'll be able to see it on our last newsletter. Before we move on, I want to give Gretchen, if she can, the opportunity to say a few words.
Hey friends, I'm at the airport and I will have to leave the meeting early. I hope you can hear me over the announcement, which of course came on just now. But as I put in the chat, it's amazing what we've accomplished together. This has truly been a team effort. And I must say, for so many people that are on the call today, I think nearly every one of you, I've either worked with you in a team or individually, and I'm just so proud of the work that we've done and how I've been a small part of just helping your professional development, helping you, through your career and or life journeys. And it's just really, I'm just quite proud of it. And I'm proud of everyone else and knowing that when we work together, we're all better. So now he's done talking, and so am I.
Okay, thank you so much, Gretchen. Thank you. And because we knew that Gretchen was going to be retiring this year, Alive took the opportunity to really review where we were going in the future and what our needs were. And so we realized that at this point we needed a full-time person, and we decided we would need an executive director. Beginning very early on this year, we had a succession planning committee work to review all the things necessary to the job description, interview questions, looking at having our first employee, what that entailed, taxes, payroll, all the things. It was an incredible amount of work. And I must take this moment to thank all the members of the succession planning committee, with special thanks to Jordania Reeves, who really led this team, and made sure everything was in order so that we could now go ahead and do the first introduction of our new executive director. And if we can go to the next slide, which is Nicole R. Smith. And so I'm going to hand this over to Nicole.
Hi, everybody. I am so excited to be here, and I am thrilled. And don't take this lightly. I just want to share a quick reason, like what is my why, right? Well, there's a philosophy, a South African philosophy. It's a word called Ubuntu, and loosely translated, it means that I am because we are. It means that professionally, who I am today is because of the community of people who surround and support me, many of them who I connected with through Alive. Like I said before, I don't take this appointment lightly. I am literally the product of Alive. And in my role, I want to be to others what Alive has been to me, an integral part of every leader volunteer journey, making sure that they know that they have somewhere to connect, feel welcome, gain support, grow personally and professionally, and be inspired along this wonderfully fulfilling volunteer engagement journey. I'm going to be talking a little bit about my journey to this position at my meet and greet next week. So if you haven't registered, join me then, and I can tell you about the path that led me here and where visions of where I'd like to go. Next slide. So a small snippet of that, just to let you all know, because I know a lot of people are wondering, Nicole is in this seat, well, what's going to be happening? Well, for me, my goals in the upcoming year, the main goal that I have is to prepare for growth. And we're going to do that in 4 different ways. So strengthening infrastructure, building awareness, increasing engagement, both member engagement and volunteer engagement, because a lot of people don't even really know all the amazing services that we currently offer, and then raising funds to do all the things that we want to do. So as we're going through this, and we're as we're going through these changes and growing, we're open. I am open to ideas and suggestions. I'm listening, right? So your input matters. So when we send out surveys, please fill them out. Give us your feedback. If you have a great success, that's something that Alive has done to help you in your profession, achieve a goal or achieve something in your department, tell me. Let us know. We want to know. Don't wait till a survey. Email us right away. We use the job leveling and this happened. Like, email me. Let me know. We want to share in those successes, and we want to hear your stories. So I look forward to this journey that we are on. And again, I am so grateful and thankful to the succession committee who put in all that work. I am going to make sure that all that work was worth it.
Thank you, Nicole. We're so excited to have you here. And we're already moving forward with many of your ideas. So thank you. And I'll be at that December 9th meeting as well. I'd also like to take some time to thank two of our board members who are ending their term and rolling off the board this year. And that is Rebecca Verhoff-Kiss, CVA, and Julie Booth, CVA. Both have been on for 3 years and have worked in a variety of different areas, but most recently, Rebecca started the development subcommittee, and she was our lead for that and has gotten the strategy in order, and we're ready to take off from there. And Julie Booth was very instrumental in our advocacy program, was the interim advocacy VP when Alicia was out on maternity leave, and was instrumental in developing the advocacy strategic plan for this year. So please take a moment to thank Rebecca and Julie for their service. We know this is not the last we've seen of you, and good luck to you both in all your future endeavors. Thank you. And now we'll move to Darlene with leadership and strategy.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Board Development Committee. The Board Development Committee serves as a cornerstone to our governance structure, and its primary goal is to ensure the board remains dynamic, skilled, and aligned with the organization's ever-changing needs. We do this by actively evaluating our current board composition. We identify gaps or areas where additional expertise is needed, and we recruit passionate, qualified individuals who can bring those skills and perspectives to the table. So thank you to this year's Board Development Committee for their support and dedication to this vital work for the organization. So Michelle, Wendy, Faiza, Tim, Jen, and Kathy, we appreciate all the time and all the effort you put into helping to recruit our new board members. And moving to the next slide, I am happy to introduce to you all the 2025 Board of Directors. And you can see here that we have our executive committee that remained the same as it did last year, 2024, with the addition of Jen, who is our equity leader and now will be sitting on the executive committee. And we have our board members at large, which you will see here. Many people are staying on the board from last year. We have a couple of people who are moving into new positions, and we have a couple of new committees as well. So Mark Hefner has taken on the chair of the development committee, which is super exciting. We haven't had a development committee in the past, but we'd like to see that front and center moving forward. We also have a technology committee, which our friend Will Weber is leading up for 2025, and we'll be looking at all of the technology that we're using and see how we can upgrade to make things better and easier for people to find our resources and store our resources as well. And then, of course, we have our 3 new board members. We have Donna Finney, who is joining us, Lee Hersey, who is joining us, and David Horowitz, who is joining us. And David is joining as our marketing chair and has been so gracious to come in and really help with putting together the presentation that you're seeing today. So David, thank you for that, and welcome to our new board members. And moving on, We are really proud to have a board that reflects the rich diversity of the different communities that we serve. And our members bring a wide range of identities, experiences, and perspectives to the board, including different genders, sexual orientations, ethnic and cultural backgrounds, and abilities. They serve in roles as parents, grandparents, caregivers, and change makers, with lived experiences spanning various socioeconomic levels and geographic settings. Professionally, our board includes nonprofit leaders, artists, authors, and other accomplished professionals. With dynamic personalities and interests from marathoners to lifelong learners, this multifaceted group exemplifies our commitment to inclusivity and innovation. And together they strengthen our mission and the impact that we're making. And so, Kathy, I will pass it back to you to kind of talk through the 2024 board accomplishments.
Thank you, Darlene. We did a lot this year. I'm so proud of this board and all of the work and effort that they put into everything you're going to hear. At a top level, we did some pretty amazing things. We actually completed our strategic plan a year early, developed the new 2024-2028 strategic plan, which is now published and on our website. And those are our marching orders as we develop our goals and objectives, not only for this year, but again for next year. We finished conducting the Professional Career Pathways Survey, and those results were shared with membership at the Points of Light conference. I hope that you were able to attend and see those results, where we also presented the pay structure and pay differentials by state tool. It's a spreadsheet, the job leveling document, and a career mapping worksheet for all of you. If you weren't able to see it at the Points of Light, we did do an Alive Academy on that, and you can watch that or go directly to our website, and all those tools and the recording is there as well. This year, we did a strong advocacy for volunteer engagement professional occupation code with the Department of Labor. And I'm going to thank all of you, local associations, partner sponsors, everyone that was involved in getting the word out. The team developed the narrative around what we wanted to see happen. We utilized the information from our Career Pathways survey, as well as other surveys, and uploaded that information to the Department of Labor. We shared academies for people, webinars to tell them how they could also advocate for the Department of Labor, knowing that if we get our own occupation code, that will help you self-advocate for salaries, that will help organizations understand the different levels of our profession and how they play out compared to the structure of other components in their organization. So it took a village, a big village, to do this. And I know hundreds of people actually responded. So I'm going to thank you very much for that. The people on that committee, Katie Campbell, Megan Vixen, Michelle Raymer, myself, Alicia Campbell, were the steering committee with information gathered from other sources and from the board. So thank you very much for assisting with that. We won't find out how successful we were for a couple of years. That's not how long it takes, but we will be the first to let you know. In addition, we did the project of conducting an executive search and onboarded our first executive director, Nicole Smith, who you just met. We also formed our first development subcommittee, which sat under the finance committee. We developed and selected the 2025 board. We created a technology strategic plan, and we just completed administering the second year of Service Enterprise. Next slide, please.
Yeah, thanks, Kathy. So in 2025, we are really focusing on several exciting priorities to drive Alive forward. First, we'll continue to champion our BDEAI goals. So that's belonging, diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion. And that's not just within the board, but across our entire membership. We're also reviewing our technology, file storage, and communication platforms to ensure we have the tools that we need to work effectively. And of course, supporting the new executive director remains a key priority as we provide ongoing onboarding and training to help Nicole succeed in her role. We're supporting the new executive director. We're committed to expanding Service Enterprise Program by increasing hubs, diagnostics, and the number of organizations earning accreditation. And another big focus is creating a robust funding strategy that includes sponsorships, grants, and fundraising efforts. Finally, we'll develop a fresh marketing campaign to grow our membership and extend Alive's reach. So together, these goals will help us strengthen the organization and make an even bigger impact. But there's more news that I want to share. So you spoke and we listened, and I'm thrilled to announce that in March of 2026, Alive will host the first annual National Summit on Volunteer Engagement in Sacramento, California. This event is a major milestone and a top priority for Alive in the coming year. We'll dive into more details later in the presentation, but I wanted to take a moment now to express my heartfelt gratitude to Shelley Beck, who has been leading the Summit Committee with dedication and vision over the past year. So thank you, Shelley, for your incredible leadership in bringing this vision to life for Alive. And so we wanted to take a minute just to do a couple of shout outs. So on the next slide, you'll see we wanted to give a special thank you to our incredible gold level sponsor, Better Impact. Over the years, Better Impact has been an invaluable partner, supporting us in hosting the hybrid conference and celebrating industry excellence with the Better Impact Awards. Their dedication to supporting volunteer professionals and recognizing their incredible contributions is really appreciated, and we are grateful for their ongoing partnership and commitment to our shared mission. Also wanted to give a heartfelt thank you to our incredible partners who, alongside of Alive, help create a powerful space for elevating volunteer engagement professionals. Together, we're fostering a community that values and amplifies the critical work of those who lead, inspire, and mobilize volunteers. Your collaboration and support are essential in driving positive change and ensuring that volunteer engagement professionals receive the recognition and resources that they deserve. We are deeply grateful for the impact that we can achieve together in advancing our shared mission. We'd also like to extend a sincere thank you to our individual donors and those who have generously provided in-kind donations to our organization. This support plays a vital role in helping Alive fulfill its mission and continue to make a meaningful impact. Whether through financial contributions or the donation of goods and services, your generosity strengthens our ability to support volunteer engagement professionals and advance the work being done across our communities. As the end of the year approaches, we do invite you to consider making a donation to Alive. Your support will help us continue to empower volunteer engagement professionals, expand our programs, and create even more opportunities for positive change. Every contribution, big or small, makes a meaningful difference and ensures we can keep advancing our mission in the year ahead. We use donations for general operating expenses, special projects, and Alive's Pay What You Can fund, which helps individuals who may not have the resources to cover the cost of their annual membership. So we are grateful for your generosity, and I hope you'll join us in making 2025 our most impactful year yet. And so we will move on next to committee reports.
Hi, everyone. My name is Wendy McClure. I'm the secretary here at Alive, and I just wanted to thank the HR policy team. If you want to advance the slide, that would be great. Our team consisted of Crystal and Laura and Nicole prior to her being executive director, Mark, and then we had representatives from the BDAI committee, both Jen and Angelique. So thank you to everyone. And really our accomplishments for 2024, we worked on orientation, we worked on the volunteer handbook and reviewing some policies. But our big part was our bylaws revision. And that took most of the year as we compiled all the information to try to create the best language we could to make it usable and understandable for the bylaws. 2025, we look at working on our volunteer and employee handbooks, looking at policies and procedures, and also helping with any of the committee needs, especially with priorities to service enterprise, the summit committee, and our employee. So I've mentioned the bylaws, and if we want to go to the next slide, that would be great. Our bylaws, we revised the language to reflect our current practices. And that was a lot that occurred. We also took our committees there were only 6, and we really have 9 committees. So we included our BDAI committee, we included our development committee, and also we had programs and advocacy together. Well, we've separated those committees because they're both so important to Alive. So with all of those fundamental changes, we reflected it in the bylaws. We had a meeting for membership to discuss any concerns and make comments and get information about our bylaws a few weeks ago. So thank you for everyone that attended. And now I would like to entertain motion for us to move forward with the bylaws.
Wendy, I move to accept the amended bylaws as presented.
Thanks, Mark. Do we have a second?
I second Wendy.
Thanks, Darlene. And this is where I'm hoping that technology is moving forward. We can vote online. Look at this. Technology is doing really great today. So if you could answer the poll that came up on your pop-up, you can accept, you can reject, or you can abstain. And I really appreciate everyone who is voting. It will be all membership votes.
It looks like we're at 88%. I'll give it just a few more moments. Okay, we're at 89%. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll.
Thank you so much for everyone that voted. I appreciate it so much. And I hope you have a great 2025. And I will pass it on to our next presenter.
Hello, everyone. I'm Grace Belisario, CVA, joining you from the Washington, D.C. area. If any of you are also in the DMV, I'd love a chance to connect. I serve as a senior manager of volunteer member engagement at the American Alliance of Museums and also the interim manager for our membership and revenue department. It's been an honor to contribute to Alive as VP of our marketing committee for the past 9 months, collaborating with an inspiring group of energetic, creative, and dedicated volunteers on our marketing committee. If you could advance to the next slide, we can see who all those members are. So as you can see, we have David Horowitz, Shelley Beck, Yvonne Dunphy, Sarah Short, Becca Azenbury, Adrian Palumbo, and Jade Mizell. All of them bring such a host of creative talents and innovation. And I'm so proud to work on a team with such wonderful people. This year, our committee focused on initiatives that strengthen connections within our community, elevated Alive's brand, and championed the field of volunteer engagement. Here are some highlights that we've done this year. One, we launched the Alive t-shirt contest. It was a fun and engaging way to celebrate our community's pride and creativity. We've started some website and newsletter enhancements. Some of those improvements were to, make improvements to our usability and engagement, and also to ensure our communications better serve our members. We looked at our marketing metrics and use those insights to inform our strategy, ensuring what we focus on is resonating with all of you and that you're getting the communication that you need on the platforms that you are at. We also worked on advocacy and awareness initiatives. We collaborated on efforts to shine a spotlight on the value of volunteer engagement as a profession, and we also supported member outreach efforts. These efforts helped us continue to grow our vibrant community and strengthen member connections. None of these accomplishments would have been possible without the dedication of our committee volunteers. Their energy and ideas are the foundation of everything we achieve. So if you have skills in marketing, graphic design, social media, copywriting, or content creation, or simply a passion for driving into innovation and strategy, I would just invite you to join us. Alive is powered by creative minds and hearts committed to advancing our mission, and we'd love for you to be part of that journey. And lastly, I'm thrilled to introduce David Horowitz as our 2025 Marketing Committee Chair. David has been an indispensable part of this committee and our community, bringing leadership, strategy, and a collaborative spirit to every project. His dedication is unwavering, and he's already making strides to strengthen Alive's story, deepen our impact, and build a bright future for our organization. I couldn't be more grateful for his presence on our team. So with that, I'll turn it over to David to share more about the exciting plans for the year ahead. So take it away, David.
Awesome. Thank you, Grace. I am very honored to be chairing up the marketing committee next year, and super excited because this is such an interesting and exciting time for the field and for our field and for our profession. And I want us to capitalize on that energy and support the board and support Nicole in their efforts to take us to the next chapter. So what we'll be doing on the marketing committee is a lot like Nicole's kind of overall goal for next year. It's really to strengthen the foundation of our marketing, of our communications, first by like streamlining operations and modernizing our technologies, whether that's the website or our newsletter, making it easier for our volunteers on the marketing team to do what they do best. We're going to leverage data to change up our messaging, to really make sure that we're selling everything that is amazing about Alive. And we're also going to start researching branding and refreshing the brand to think about how we're, evolving a brand that was created in 2009. That's very different than what's needed now and going forward. And so want to make sure that we're updating our foundations, and then also increasing your engagement and partners and funders like that. So that will be what we're focused on in 2025. And next slide. Next slide, please. It's fun to see so many friends on the participant list. Well, the next slide is really just going to be a call. Right now, in this moment, we see all of your CVA, CCVA t-shirts online, on social media. Well, you can also get an Alive t-shirt that was created and designed for and by members to support Alive, but really to like represent and really start to think about how we are taking ownership of our association, of our profession, and moving it forward together. So I will second Grace's call to sign up for the marketing committee because it's going to be super fun and exciting next year. But also, if you won't, maybe consider getting a shirt before the end of the year. And I'm going to pass it off to, yep, there it is. That's the new shirt. I'm going to pass it off to Ashley. Is she here? Yes, perfect.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes, thanks, David. I am Ashley Reiser. I'm the outreach or the membership chair for Alive. I work at the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so always happy to connect with anyone in my area or outside. And I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to talk to all of you, the members of Alive today. If we should go to the next screen. I have a fabulous committee for membership that includes Jared, Allison, Dana, Karen, Yvonne, and William. Together, we work hard year in and year out the last couple of years to create increasing membership. And so if we could go to the next screen, we also oversee the survey results. And what our survey told us this year is that our participants are engaged. 92% have visited the Alive website in the past 2 months. 43% are already volunteering with Alive. And if you're not currently volunteering, Alive has lots of opportunities to get involved and work on professional development. So do please consider that if you're among the other percentage that isn't currently volunteering. 85% are satisfied or very satisfied with the content of our newsletter. Next slide, please. Our participants do leverage resources. 77% have participated in the Alive Academy. 52% have joined an Alive community of practice. 68% have utilized the Alive calendar, and 43% have used the Alive resource library. As you can see, the importance of each member benefit, the very important is the green bar that you see. And everything from the Alive webinars to the events calendar, the mentor program, the Impact Awards, the presenter boot camp are always resources that our members are engaged with and enjoy. Next screen. And based upon what our members are looking for in the year to come, they're looking for more information about strategic planning and reporting on impact. Those were at about 62% and 66%. So you can see there's some other numbers that are there too, but those were, again, this year, those interests were the same as last year. So we look forward to hearing our members, what you're saying, and addressing those for the next year to come. Next slide. We had a number of accomplishments this past year that included identifying recruitment campaigns aimed at identified groups. We've done organizational presentations and recordings made to help increase retention, and we delivered the annual satisfaction survey. We're very excited about 2025 and what we can bring to our membership, which includes developing a membership engagement roadmap to increase retention, developing a membership campaign in collaboration with the marketing committee, and identifying reports that might be of interest to our members to share. Next slide. And now I'd like to pass it on to Jen to talk about our local associations committee.
Thanks, Ashley. So hi, everyone. I'm Jen. I'm in Portland, Oregon, where the sun is shining, which is not common. So hooray for vitamin D. I get to work with an awesome group of folks who support local associations for volunteer administrators all across the country. So I'm so thankful to get to work with Will, Mary Lynn, Amanda, Gretchen, Ashley, and Jerry. And we represent geographic locations and local associations all across the country. I've been working or heading this team up since 2020, and I'm excited to say that Will is going to be stepping into chair starting in 2025. So I will be passing the baton to him. He has some really innovative and exciting ideas. So I'm really looking forward to what we can do in the next program year. Next, please. So we host quarterly communities of practice for local associations leadership, primarily. So we do those 3 times a year plus an annual summit. We just had our 5th annual summit where we can workshop ideas and challenges that are happening in local associations across the country, provide educational opportunities for local associations leadership. There's a lot of turnover in local association leadership and a lot to learn when folks are stepping into these leadership roles. And so we try to provide support in that space. And as I said, Will and the team, we have some great, exciting things coming in 2025. One thing that is not included in this list is that we will be hosting more frequent meetups, more frequent COPs. We'll be meeting monthly with a combination of educational opportunities and networking so that we can really do peer-to-peer discussion and workshopping of issues and challenges that we're facing and support each other in that way. So that's exciting. Next, please. I believe that's everything for local associations, but I'm going to keep talking because the other group that I get to work with, and I'm so fortunate to get to do so, is the BDEAI committee. I wanted to just point out that we lead intentionally with belonging in this committee because at the end of the day, all of this equity work and learning about inclusion is to lead to a space where all people can bring their full selves to our community and not only belong, but thrive. And so we really intentionally lead with belonging because that is our ultimate goal, is to create a space within Alive where we can all belong as our true and full selves, but also that we can spread that across the country and across the world in all of our organizations. So our goal is to support that work in a variety of ways. So I want to shout out my friends on that committee, which I might be able to do by memory, but if you could back up real quick so I can verbally thank Lisa Marie, Angel, Ali, Noni, Tiana, Colin, and Becky, who have been doing amazing and really challenging work in the last year. So I want to shout out not only their time and commitment, but their emotional vulnerability and their strength to pursue this really important and vital work that can be really challenging and tender. Thank you. Next, please. We've spent a lot of time this year sort of developing ourselves as a team and really defining what our role is for Alive and for the greater profession. And this committee is sort of being resurrected. Our friend Amanda Schmier revived this committee in 2023. And so we're really just in our infancy in getting things restarted. And so we've spent a lot of intentional time building the committee, building relationship within the committee, getting ourselves established as a group, and defining our purpose. And so that's what we've done with our sort of mission vision for the committee, our why that we exist. And it's twofold. It's one, to create a space within Alive in which people can belong and thrive. And also, how can we support engagement professionals across the country in creating spaces within their organizations in which community can belong and thrive as well. So it's twofold, both serving Alive internally and externally across the profession. Next, please. And so some of our accomplishments, as I mentioned, has been really building out that infrastructure. And a lot of what we've been doing have been in serving in advisory roles across the organization, across Alive, and also externally. A few of us also contributed to the CCVA's Devi Toolkit project as well. So we serve as a voice to have that equity lens in multiple conversations across the organization. And I'm happy to report that the board and the committee members, everyone is really on board with furthering this work and this effort. And so that perspective has been really welcomed and encouraged by leadership and really across the organization. We have goals to do some revisions to some of our public statements that we have out on the website in the next year. We will also be making some recommendations regarding training for equity for board members and other leadership. And then we'll continue to collaborate in those ways across committees and with other projects throughout Alive and beyond. So we're really excited for what's to come. If equity is a particular interest of yours and you want to help us in this work, we invite you to join us. Please reach out. Thank you so much.
Before we move on to the programs committee, I want to kind of go off of our agenda momentarily because when I introduced the executive committee earlier, I mentioned that Jen would be joining the executive committee, and it's a new role for our equity leader. So excited to have Jen. But what I failed to mention, and she didn't say a word, I just realized it. I didn't recognize Jordania. So Jordania is going to be our president-elect for 2025. And I can't think of someone who works harder and is more dedicated to Alive like than Jordania has been this past year. So I am so excited to walk with her in this journey of 2025 to help lead the organization. And I'm so excited that in 2026 she will be the organization president. So Jordania, I'll pass it to you, but I wanted to make sure that I recognized you and the work that you have been doing this past year and throughout the years that you've been with Alive.
Well, thanks, Darlene. I appreciate it. I am off camera because I'm just getting in from a 3 a.m. flight from Toronto. So I'm in my driveway right now, but I did make it home before I had to speak, so that was good. So I was so excited to be the VP for the programs committee this last year. We did a lot of really great work with the committee, but I'm absolutely thrilled to uh, have Carol Ayers, CVA, join us in 2025 as the programs committee chair. She's going to do fantastic work with the committee. Carol has served on the programs committee setting up our Alive Academies this last year, and she's just done amazing work finding really, really awesome speakers and getting those coordinated and scheduled to provide those Alive Academies. So I'm really excited to have Carol taking over the programs committee and really driving us forward for the next year. So I also want to thank the amazing members that have served on the programs committee this year, delivering just some really incredible programs to you as the members. As I mentioned, Carol, Paula also served with us for the first part of the year. Shelley has been serving with us. Paula leading the presenters boot camp, and Shelley leading the summit committee. We also were joined by Olympia, and she and Tim Sudo, who joined us this year, took over the presenters boot camp, and very excited to have them working on that this next year. Amy also worked with Carol to facilitate the and host the Live Academies and just did some really incredible work there. And Chris has joined us a little more recently and is helping us with updating our resource pages, which is amazing offerings that you can find on the website. Kim and Megan have worked on our mentorship program and have done some really incredible work there. And the wonderful Sarah has been running and facilitating our COPs. So just a really amazing programs committee. They've done incredible work for our organization and really running a stellar amount of programs for the organization and being able to offer those services to you, our members. So we had quite a few people serving in programs committee as community of practice facilitators. The communities of practice are really focused on specific service areas in the industries that you all are serving in. So I just want to say so much thank you to all of our facilitators who are running those meetings, bringing in content, bringing in speakers, putting together discussions. Allison, Brandy, Carol, Chris, both Elizabeths, Emily, Haley, Jen, Kathy, Kayla, Manny, Marcel, Marie, Mark, Megan, Shelby, Sherry, Val, and Yvonne, you have just been really incredible this year working with Sarah to facilitate our community of practices. And we cannot say thank you enough. We also want to give a special shout out to the 2026 Summit Committee. As we mentioned, Shelley Beck has been doing amazing work as the chair of that committee, getting everything organized. And we're so excited to be working with this committee in so many different areas. Myself and the wonderful Wendy are helping be at-large committee members. Mari is helping with the finance piece. Mark and David are doing development. Ali and Sue are doing the programs. David, Becca, and Grace are doing the marketing. Mary Lynn and Twyla are our wonderful hosts from Sacramento, and they're helping with hospitality. Ashley and Monica are helping with our resource groups, and we'll also have technology coming soon. So if you're interested in helping on the planning for the 2026 summit, please reach out to Shelley. She is wonderful at finding a spot that's meaningful for you and getting you plugged in a way that you can help out. There's a lot of work to do to accomplish this summit, but it's going to be just a really, really fantastic opportunity. And we're so excited to have that in this in 2026. So please reach out to Shelley if you're interested. Shelley, I believe, just put her email in the chat. So thank you for that. We hosted an amazing 2025 hybrid conference. Well, we're very excited for the 2025 hybrid conference, and I'm predicting the future that it will be amazing. But the 2024 hybrid conference was incredibly successful with 1,100 participants, 50 U.S. host sites. 94% of the survey respondents said that it inspired them to set new goals or try new things. And we are so excited for the 2025 hybrid conference. It will be our 11th annual hybrid conference. You can save the date for October 28th or 29th in 2025. Put that on your calendar now. And we'll be announcing the theme for that conference in February. The RFP for speakers will be released in April, and in May, we will start the host site registration. And then August 1st, the individual registration will open. So if you have participated in the hybrid conference, we encourage you to come back again. If you haven't had the opportunity, definitely connect with your local association. Being a host site is a really great way to participate in the conference. But if you don't have a local association who's able to do that, just coming as an individual, you get so many great resources. We have such fantastic speakers as part of this conference. So we really encourage you to participate in that. So 2024 saw a lot of really great accomplishments for the programs committee. We had 651 attendees at the Alive Academies, which was a big growth for us this year. We had 21 communities of practice with those fantastic facilitators. We had 20 mentor pairs through our mentor program, and we had 13 boot camp graduates this year for presenter boot camp. In addition to those areas, we were able to launch the summit preparation and steering committees. We had 11 Alive Academies with higher attendance, awesome speakers, topics, and 4 DEAI workshops. We also created new COPs, including a disability COP, which has just been a fantastic COP where those that are working in spaces with volunteers in disability spaces can come, but also those that are interested in learning how to work with volunteers with disabilities or how to be more inclusive in your organization, working with individuals and volunteers with disabilities. So that's been a fantastic COP that we've started. We also were able to start a new partnership with AAMV to lead our Museums and Cultural Institute COP. And that has been a huge success as well. We also held our second presenters boot camps, and all of the graduates from presenter boot camp have gone on to present locally, regionally, and nationally. So thank you so much for all those who participated in boot camp, and all of the facilitators who helped make that happen. So we have some really great goals for the programs committee next year. We're going to be working with the marketing committee and streamlining all of the marketing for consistency and consistent messages and appearances across all of the marketing that we do. We're also going to diversify the programming for the National Summit and really look for ways that we can create hands-on experiences at the summit. There's already some really, really great ideas that have come through, but we want to make this the best possible summit conference that you have gone to as a volunteer manager. So some really exciting ideas that we're working on for that. We're also going to be increasing awareness and visibility of our COPs through strategic marketing. We also, with the help of Tim and Olympia, we're going to be strengthening our presenters bootcamp to include a cohesive facilitation across multiple presentation techniques, to really streamline that process for our presenter bootcamp. We're also very excited to be launching a presenters database. We'll be working on that in 2025 as a resource for Alive members and local associations to have a listing of folks who have presentations and are willing to give presentations to your organizations and your local associations, or for those who are presenters to be able to include yourself in the listing, and get your name out there as a presenter for organizations. So I'll turn it over to, I believe, Mark for the advocacy committee.
Perfect. Thank you. As you can tell, I'm not Alicia, right? I'm Mark Hefner, a part of the advocacy team, and I get to sit alongside Alicia, Emily, Lynn, Julie, Cheryl, and a double dose of Beggins. Next slide. We'll sit on the next slide for just a minute because I'd like to talk about where we've been and where we're going all together. This past year, we launched a standalone committee, creating initiatives and a body of work by starting with our purpose, structure, and goals. We focus on our members by empowering them with strategies and execution to advocate for themselves and for their communities. We focus on our profession by serving as a national, regional, and local resource in the development and direction of industry standards and best practices that continue to promote professional excellence for Alive and its members. We'll always have a hand in legislative trends across our country and continue to educate our membership on those ways to best advocate. We do this by partnering with you, our members, and our stakeholders and our partners, our communities, big and small, all in an effort to drive organizational and social change. Next slide. Within advocacy, we also get to promote Impact Awards. Alive continues to be the only national US-based organization that recognizes the volunteer engagement profession annually. This year's exemplary winners with 8 or more years of professional excellence are Sydney Entz, Rob Tuchel, and Anthony Richardson. This year's emerging winners for volunteer professionals with 3 to 7 years of excellence include Elizabeth Rotch, Molly Patterson, and Reagan Maldonado. You can read more about them and the work they do by visiting our website. Nominations for 2025 Impact Awards go live in July. Thanks.
Hi, Kathy Toma here. I'm filling in for Christy Brown, our treasurer. I want to thank all the members of our finance committee, including Rebecca Verhoff Kiss, Lori Pilley, Elizabeth Soch, Kathy Toma, that's me, Darlene Laird, and Mari Rees. If we can go to the next slide, please. So the big thing that was done in 2024 is fiscal management and practices, and that entails a lot of things, but that was managed very well this year. Goals for 2025 continue preparations for the transition of Gretchen to Nicole, continued fiscal diligence, so looking at new revenue streams and cost-saving opportunities, and define plans and goals for sponsorships and grant opportunities, as well as continuing all other kinds of fiscal management and practices. Next slide, please. We're just going to take a kind of a large overview of our budget. Now, this is for the end of October. The full year's budget report you'll see in the annual report that comes out usually the first quarter of next year, because then we'll have all of the financial information available. But looking here, you can see our the income sources, what our budget was, what the actual was, and then we have a budget variance. So there's donations, partnerships, grants, sponsorships, any money we took in from webinars, memberships, either individual organizations or local associations, the hybrid conference, administrative fees, service enterprise, and any interest we have. As of the end of October, we've actually met our membership goal per money-wise, which was great, but we know, I think especially too with this annual meeting, that we'll get more memberships coming in December as well. If we look at the variances, we wanted to show that our actual for service enterprise shows at 60,500, but invoices were sent out and in October, and so we see the income coming in after this report date. So we've put a little note in there that says the amount of 36,850 in invoices were sent in October. It's not reflected in this report. It will be by the end of the year, and that will bring our actual total to 97,350. And the budget variance with October invoices paid will bring that to 20,150 in the positive. Next slide, please. These are an overview of our expenses, executive level, finance, HR, marketing, and so on. We have our budget, we have the actual and the budget difference. So at this point, we didn't spend as much as we had budgeted. Next slide, please. Our variances once again, it's the end of October. So our total income to date at the end of October was 121,824. But again, with the paid invoices from Service Enterprise coming in from our training and implementation partners, it's their licensing fees and diagnostic fees. We will be at 158,674, and the variance will no longer be negative, but will in fact be at 31,448. Next slide, please. Here's our financial position. So it shows our assets, our liabilities, and our equity. So our total assets are at 100,405. Our total liabilities and equity matches. I think it's self-explanatory. I think we can move on to the next slide. Okay, so also want to, this is our donor list again. So we do want to thank all of our donors who, besides our membership, who the membership fee helps run, is the bread and butter and runs our our organization and funds what we do, so do our donors. And so we want to thank you again. It's easy to donate. You can certainly do that on our website. And Gretchen had asked that or accepted that if you'd like to donate to Hammer, not to Hammer, that's my group, to Alive in her name, we have a special place to do that on our website. So thank you again to all who donated above and beyond your membership. Next slide, please. I'll hand that over to Rebecca.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rebecca Vierhoff-Kiss, and I have had the pleasure of leading the development subcommittee of the Finance Committee. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. I, for one, am feeling super inspired by seeing all of these lists of amazing volunteers, and I am proud to kind of list these additional folks who were involved in the development committee this year. Mark Hefner, David Horowitz, Kathy Toma, and Lori Pilley all provided expertise and help in really thinking through our strategy to raising funds and raising sponsors to support Alive. Next slide. So in 2024, our big goal for this subcommittee was to really develop a sponsorship package to offer to companies and businesses to support the work of Alive. So we, within the Finance Committee, we developed that sponsorship package. We also considered partnerships and grant strategy and really began laying a foundation to having paid sponsors and funding to support Alive, which diversifies revenue. We designed a comprehensive sponsorship package guide and really worked with the marketing committee to market that out to potential sponsors. We began our matching gift program, which is a program that if you are working within an organization or a company that provides some matching funds for volunteerism, please reach out to us. I'm going to specifically shout out Jordania, who works for TD Bank, and we were able to secure a grant through her organization because of her volunteer efforts on Alive board. So if that is your situation, we would love to take advantage of those funds, so reach out to us. And then we were able to secure our first sponsor, a gold sponsor, which is Better Impact. Better Impact has been a partner with Alive for many, many years. But this year we asked them to support us a little more and to provide some additional financial support, which they stepped up and were happy to do. So we're very thankful for Better Impact to be our first sponsor in 2024 and looking forward to continue to work with them in 2025 to grow and sustain Alive. I am really excited that Mark Hefner is going to be the new VP of the committee moving forward. So I'm going to turn it over to Mark, and he's going to walk through the goals of the committee for 2025.
Thanks, Rebecca. Man, we're sad to have you leave us, but thank you for setting us up for success. Like advocacy, in 2025, the development team will become its own standalone committee. We'll identify and implement strategies to increase the financial support for Alive as an organization. We're going to secure funding and sponsorships for our national summit in 2026. And we'll research and write grant proposals for our organization. If you happen to be a person who likes to build relationships, fundraise, create sponsorships, research, and/or write grants, consider joining our newly formed committee, putting dollars right back into our membership. Next slide, please. Feel free to take action now if you like. You can consider donating through the QR code on this page or by visiting our website. Every dollar donated gets put to immediate use. Thanks.
Hey everybody, this is Kayla Paulson, the Service Enterprise Administrator for Alive. And I actually have been a board member before with Alive and helped bring Service Enterprise into Alive, bring the knowledge of working with volunteer centers, delivering Service Enterprise program, and have actually been a Service Enterprise trainer since the national pilot well over a decade ago. You want to advance? We have many amazing volunteers that serve kind of in a direct service capacity and helping us capture the stories of how organizations are strategically engaging volunteers to deliver their mission. And we have an advisory council that helps provide insight and guidance specifically for service enterprise and how we can work better with our organizations that we support. I think we're kind of short on time, so I'm not going to list each individual out separately. I do want to call out that we do have the star, the asterisk, noting those that are advisory council members. If you are with a service enterprise organization that's accredited and want to volunteer or want to volunteer to get a little bit of a peek behind the curtain to see what service enterprise is and how it can make a difference at your organization, do connect with me. I'll drop my information in the chat right after my section. So background. I know some people are very familiar with service enterprise, some are not. So I'm going to give the very quick cliff notes. Here's what you missed if you've not been up to speed with it. It really is an accreditation process and change management program for a whole organization. So many of us have CVAs and know the CVA model. That's for an individual that says this individual knows strategic volunteer engagement and does great volunteer engagement. Service enterprise is the same thing, but on an organization level. So it's not saying any one individual, but the whole organization and its culture is around strategic volunteer engagement, which in order to make organization culture happen, you've got to bring together that cross-functional team. So I know sometimes we say we want a seat at the leadership table. Well, this is bringing everyone to our table sometimes is a good way to think it through. And it's all focused on improving the way the organization engages volunteers to effectively and efficiently deliver the organization's mission. It really helps that team build those muscles to strategically engage volunteers, work through change processes and practices, and make sure that they're really looking at the community needs and the community assets. Because again, volunteers are our community members. Here is a quick snapshot of our national network. So we have amazing footprint across the country. If you don't see someone in your area, don't worry. We've got national trainers, and I would love to connect with you if you're interested in becoming a service enterprise trainer or taking your organization through the process. So quick numbers. Again, those training and implementation partners. Last year, 20 organizations and individuals that helped take other organizations through that change management process. We provide the curriculum and support to really empower those entities to help improve the way that their community or organizations that they're supporting engage community members as volunteers. Diagnostics. So 96 organizations were able to take a research-based diagnostic to get a holistic approach and look at how they're currently operating as an organization engaging volunteers. Focuses in, narrows in on that. The best part though, is when you have those conversations afterwards, being able to really tease out and talk through things. Sometimes you find out you're doing something great in the volunteer engagement silo, but it's not getting connected with some of the other components and programs. So sometimes there's easy wins that you can quickly move forward on. We did have last year 42 achieve accreditation. So those organizations are now nationally accredited for 3 more years and can continue to maintain that. And then we've brought over 880 organizations now through the process. If you've got questions, I'll drop my information in the chat and I will hand it off.
To me. Man, goodness gracious. I mean, you've sat, if you're still here, thank you for still hanging in and just listening. We are doing so much. Alive is doing so many great things because professional development is vital to our success. But guess what? All of this great programming only works if you are actively involved, if you actively participate in it. Make it one of your New Year's resolutions next year to become a part of the movement, to take advantage of some of the top-notch programming that we've been offering. And remember, professional development can look differently, right? It could be networking, right? So network with Alive members locally, regionally, nationally during our mentorship socials and community of practice to meet new people in the field, exponentially expanding your network, or connect with other members by attending our monthly webinars, participate in the presenter bootcamp, or join the mentor program as a mentee to glean knowledge from experts in the field on how to hone your craft. But most importantly, I challenge you, I invite you to get involved. This is where the professional development magic happens, and that is why we exist as an organization. Can you go to the next slide, please? So I just wanted to come back to Ubuntu, like I had talked about at the beginning, right? It's about community. It's about how we help each other out. And so it's all tying back together. And like I said, getting involved is where the professional development magic happens. Starting at only 1 hour a month, there are ways to grow exponentially by doing things with Alive. You can help with one-off projects, you can conduct research, or my favorite, comparison shopping. If you have a little bit more time, join a pilot program to help us work through kinks before launching them at large. Consider it our product and development, working on things, as we're growing into the future. Join one of our many 10 committees. You've heard many people make that invite today, from the summit to the technology department. Technology, see, I'm thinking big, we're hiring already. No, just kidding, we're not. The technology committee, okay? But from marketing and advocacy to our newly created technology and development committees, your skills, perspectives, and expertise are welcome here at Alive. If you want to get involved during work hours, like many of our members do, but you're not sure if your supervisor will allow you, I created a template letter to help bake this professional development into your goals for the upcoming year. I'll drop it in the chat in a little bit. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, this is what community is about. It's not only what you get out of it, but how your unique skills, your insights, and your perspectives help to shape this organization. It is for our members, by our members, for our members, which means you. And if you haven't joined us yet, then come on, join the movement, jump on the train, because we are making moves and we are heading forward. And we'd love for you to join us on the journey. The point is, you can equally be an integral part of someone else's growth and Alive's growth, all while you yourself are growing and embodying the philosophy of Ubuntu. So as we prepare for growth in the upcoming year, don't just be a bystander, but be a kinetic part of Alive's mission. Go ahead, sign up. We put the QR code there. We're going to have a volunteer information session. We're going to dig a little bit deeper. We're going to provide some background so you can really understand there is something here for you, not only to take part, but also to give, because that is what community is about. So next slide, please. If there's one thing, after all the amazing and goodness that you have heard, the reason why we do all of this is to remind you that you are not alone. You are not alone on this volunteer engagement journey. You may be the only one in your organization, the only one in your city, the only one in your state, maybe even only one in your region. But there is a network of people nationwide waiting to support you and cheer you on. Many of our members will attest to the fact that if you participate in even just one of these things in the upcoming year, you are sure to thrive, and in ways that you would have never imagined. So I encourage you, after hearing all of this, get involved. And I'm excited to see that in 2025, that you will connect and thrive with Alive. Next slide. Are there any questions? Okay, I don't see any questions in the chat. Am I missing anything? Does anybody see anything? So can we just start a chant? Thrive with Alive, thrive with Alive, thrive with Alive. Put it on your Facebook, put it on your LinkedIn. I'm sorry, I just got really excited because I'm ready. Let me see.
Nicole, I did see somebody say that you needed to turn it over to Access for people to download that letter. So you're already getting some excitement there of people getting that
excellent.
letter.
Okay, I will. I absolutely will. I wanted to make sure people really wanted it. I didn't want it just out there. So I know that if you press it, that you really want it. So see, that's taking an active part in your participation, and I appreciate that. I guess we can go on to the next slide. So thank you. Let's go 2025, Thrive with Alive. We hope to see you engaging more than you have before. If you're not a member, join us, get your t-shirt, and we'll see you at the information session so that you can learn how to get plugged in 2025. Thank you.